Indo-Pacific region, it contains about over 100 different species of tropical fish, about 750 individuals, and 6 big spotted eagle rays. Now this pool is filled with 300,000 gallons of man-made salt water. It takes 14 different chemicals to actually make this salt water to replicate or be just like the ocean. Now we actually make that salt water right here at Zero. Gives JJ a big wave as he's coming by. He can see you just as well as you can see him. We're actually separated by 11 inches thick of acrylic. So that's what's preventing this from being a splash zone. Now our water is 78 degrees, so it's much warmer than the killer whale water or the water at the dolphins. Now what you do see is JJ is hand feeding our stingrays. So today on the menu it looks like it is capelin. So capelin is the common fish that we feed about every single animal here at SeaWorld, where it's the dolphins, the sea lions, the seals, and even the great big killer whales. So here at SeaWorld, or here at our aquarium, our stingrays get a different variety of fish every single day. Now the quality of that fish can actually be served at a 5-star restaurant, so our animals are quite spoiled. So they eat things like capelin, they also eat blue runner, they eat menhaden, bonita, also herring. Herring's a great type of fish that they like. And their all-time favorite is some shrimp. Does anyone like shrimp? I know I love shrimp. JJ loves some shrimp. So shrimp and clams are actually their favorite food. And a cool quality that these stingrays have, if you see those big holes right behind their eyes, those are called their spiracles. Now not only does that help them breathe and help filter that water, because the air that they do breathe is actually located in the water, it helps them take handfuls of food from JJ and suck it up just like a vacuum. And then they're able to swim away and shoot and eat. Now they are very closely related to sharks. Their cousins are next door, those sharks. They have rows and rows of teeth just like sharks, but unlike sharks, they do not have razor sharp teeth. They have flat bony plates that they use to mash and grind their foods together, so they can actually crack open a shell and eat the clam in it. And a cool thing that they can do is they can take a handful of shelled shrimp and shoot out the shells and eat just the meat. So I wish I had that ability, but I do not. Now, as I mentioned, these are called spotted eagle rays. Now, these are not any type of stingrays. These are the largest species of stingrays we have here right at SeaWorld. Now, they can get 8 feet from one fin to the other and weigh about 500 pounds. Now, our largest stingray here is a female, and she's about 5.5 feet, and she weighs about 150 pounds. Now, they do get their names because of their spotted pattern on their back, and they do have like a nose or a rostrum that is shaped like an eagle's beak. Now, the cool thing about these stingrays that JJ is diving with is that they do have their barbs. Now, the first thing that pretty much crosses people's minds when you think of a stingray is its barb or its stinger. Now, I have a barb right here in my hand. Now, this is a smaller version of a barb. Now, the size of a barb just depends on the species or how long it is grown. So, this is a tiny version. They can get much, much bigger than this. And our stingrays, they can actually grow 3 to 4 barbs on top of each other. So, if you can see, JJ is perfectly safe interacting with our stingrays. These are used to protect themselves against predators such as sharks, or if they feel scared or threatened. Now, their tails are not their barbs. Now, their tails are very similar to a cat's or a dog's tail. It's just used for balance. Now, if you take a look on their back and you notice that triangle fin or that dorsal fin right on the back where the tail meets, now that is where that barb grows. It looks like brown spikes or brown nails. Now, keep in mind that brownness on it is to hold the venom gland. So these are known as venomous fish. So here at our reef, we do have venomous and poisonous fish, and yes, there is a difference. Keep in mind, venom has to be injected. So when a stingray does sting, it injects that barb and whips its tail for that barb to break off, which gives a small amount of venom, enough time for it to get away from its predators, so they cannot shoot it out. It actually has to make contact with that body. So if you ever get stung by a stingray, just make sure you don't pull that barb out, just because if it goes in nicely, it's not going to come out much nicely. So you always want to go to a doctor and get checked. So in order to prevent getting stung by stingrays in the ocean, just make sure you shuffle your feet, because these guys are going to be more afraid of you of what you are of them. So if you see these stingrays, they look like a shape of a diamond. That just means they're found higher in the water column. Now, there's some very round and flat stingrays that bury themselves in the sand and don't always have to continuously swim. So those are the ones that people accidentally get stung by because they do step on them. Now, as I mentioned, we do have poisonous fish. My all-time favorite fish, he's a longhorn cowfish. He sometimes hangs out on the top of the surface. He's a type of puffer. I don't see him right now. But if you see a yellow fish, kind of like a bony fish, located on the top with 2 little horns on its head, he is a poisonous fish. And we do have some puffers that sometimes like to come out, or sometimes they hide in the back So those would not be good fish to eat if you ever catch them. Now, a lot of people think that manta rays are the largest species of stingrays. Has anyone seen a manta ray? I know I haven't. But manta rays can get 22 feet from one fin to the other, which is the depth of this pool, and weigh about 1,000 pounds. So when you're that big, you really don't have any true predators. Now, do keep in mind, manta rays do not have a barb. So they're the largest species of ray. Now, a cool thing that manta rays have in common with our spotted eagle rays is that they're going to be dark on the top. As you can see, our spotted eagle rays are like a gray-black color and very light on their belly. Now, this is called counter shading. Now, this counter shading is found in killer whales, dolphins, sea lions. This is to help obtain prey or catch food and protect themselves against predators. So if a shark is swimming under a stingray or a dolphin, if it looks up, that belly is supposed to blend in with the sunlight, and vice versa. If it's swimming on top of a stingray or a killer whale or a dolphin, that darkness is supposed to blend in with the ocean floor. Now, how many of y'all out there like some sharks? Anyone like shark? Anyone watch Shark Week? Now, do keep in mind, we do not have a feeding show for our sharks. Sorry about that. Our sharks are actually fed twice a week, so they do not eat every day. So we feed our sharks Mondays and Thursdays because we actually are the only SeaWorld that dives hands-on with our sharks. So we go into those exhibits and actually clean it. It's nice and clean in there with our 21 sharks. So our sharks are actually known as non-aggressive sharks. So those are